session, so I hope I'll get to come across you later on today as well. But we are going to focus right now on middle school math. And I know from being a middle school teacher and having kids of my own, middle school math is tricky. So definitely want to give you as many supports as possible. And really just want you to know that I'm here to support you along the way as well. If you are ever looking for particular resources, again, I'm Jen Moss. I am the Discovery Education Nevada Partnership Manager. A lot of words, but really I'm just here to support teachers in all of our Nevada districts, and want to make sure that, if you're looking for a resource, I am going to do my best to find those resources for you. So you have my email here on the screen, and I invite you to use it as often as needed. Anything discovery education related, whether it's, hey, I need a resource, or my student, is having trouble getting this, or anything, send all of that to me and I will take care of it. So please take my email down, and I mean it, use it. And then from here, I definitely want to give you up front our resource guide. So I'll pause here for a minute. You can use that QR code. I'm also going to give you the whole presentation, and it has everything linked. So I'll make sure that you get that presentation link at the end. So if QR codes are not your jam, you will have other ways of grabbing that information. So I'll pause here just for a moment and just make sure that you have time to grab that amazing link. And it just has some of the highlights. We're going to talk about some other things today as well, but I wanted to give you as much as possible. So I'm going to ask, while we're here, just kind of sorting out QR codes and fun stuff, I would love for you in the chat to tell me kind of what your experience level is with discovery education. Maybe give me a 1 if this is a brand new resource for you. Give me a 2 if you've heard of it, maybe used it once or twice, and a 3 if you consider yourself a regular user. So just in the chat, a 1, 2, or 3 showing your kind of comfort and experience with Discovery Ed. We've got a couple of 2s. Awesome. So we're familiar. Wonderful. Sub-0. Fair. And then let's see, we got 2s, 1s. All right. So pretty good mix. Pedro, you're just like, yep, I'm a 0. That's fine. I'm going to show you all the things. It'll be okay. So I love the honesty. I've had some people that are like, I'm a 1.5. So wherever you are, I'm going to try to meet you there. And, always happy to follow up too. So if there are things that you want to dive deeper into that we talk about in today's session, please reach out. Let me know if there's anywhere else I can support. All right, so moving on, here we go, our session overview. This is really focused on just giving you a glimpse at all of the resources that you have available to you through our statewide partnership. This is for all Nevada districts. This is for all middle school teachers that are in public schools or public charters. And it really is such an amazing supplemental resource. All the things that you've already got going on in your classroom, we are here to support that work. So moving on from here, I do want to talk about our agenda. So see, these are some of the areas that we're really going to focus on today. Looking at the different mathematical resources that we have, diving into some activities that are ready for you. And then, of course, our channels. Channels is where you're going to find lots of information related to particular subjects in math. And then, of course, our instructional strategies that support math learning. So those are all of the fun areas that we'll be digging into. And before we get there, we have to get into the platform. So we're going to start with, how do we get there? What do we do? Depending on the district you're in, you can go in through Clever or ClassLink. You can also go straight to discoveryeducation.com, and you can, use our our login screen, you have all those same options: ClassLink, Clever, Google, Microsoft, all the things. And again, you have my email here if anything is not working the way that you want it to. And I'm not sure, do I have anyone on the call who is not in a teaching role? Maybe you're an administrator, a counselor. I want to make sure that you're able to get in as well. Okay, I'm going to give you, Dawn, here we go. This is our general Nevada teacher login. Some principals still have access, some don't. So I just want to make sure that you're able to see all of the great things that we have to offer. So I put in our chat our general Nevada teacher login. It is case sensitive, but that'll get you right in so you can see all the resources as we go through. Glad you told me. All right, so here we are. And I'm going to go ahead and move forward. If there are questions around logging in, please email me or drop it in the chat. We'll make sure that those things get taken care of. So actually, before we go deep into channels, I do want, I'm going to back us up just a second here. I do want to go into the platform with you. And since we have some zeros and ones, I do want to make sure that we talk about navigation before we jump too far into math resources. So one of the first things I want to call out here is that we've had some updates. If you have been on the platform before, you'll notice that our rainbow navigation has gone away. We are now giving you more of your homepage. And then off to the side, you have something called global navigation. You may want to call that your hamburger menu, whatever, feels right. But that is how you're going to find your way around the site. So one of the first things that I want to talk about is the My Classrooms tab. I typically get some questions around this, so that's why I want to dive in a little bit here. The first place that will take you is into your assignments. So here we are looking at all of the great assignments that I have used in my professional learning sessions. And it is just a really nice view of everything that you've played around with, put out to students. And then, of course, it will track, when you started, when it was due, all that fun stuff. What I really want to talk about, though, is your classroom area. So one of the questions that typically comes up here is, I'm seeing classrooms and they're from years before. How do I get them out? So if you are here and you're seeing way too many classes, you can click into that 3-dot menu and then go down to archive this class, and that will take it off of your classroom page. And I want you to know that you're safe pushing buttons. Any button you push within Discovery Platform, there is a way to undo it. So even if you archive a class and then later realize that you shouldn't have, there is a way to pull those back out. You can restore them. So it is safe to push buttons. That's your takeaway here. And also you are able to archive classes as needed. So that is all within classrooms here. Another thing I want to mention is under your student tab. This is going to list all of your students. And what I want you to know about this is that you can pick a student and sign in as that student. So it gives you a nice little window into the student experience. I think that this can be a really powerful tool because we know that sometimes what we see on our teacher side is different looking than what the kids see. So it's really nice to be able to, see what they're seeing and what they're experiencing. Now, if this student had an active assignment, something that they needed to be working on right away, it would show up in this area. Because there's not an active assignment, it's giving us the options to explore, search, and use Studio. And we will talk a little bit more about Studio today, but please look for some virtual statewide sessions that are happening that are going to address Studio. Like that's all we're going to focus on because there is a lot of good stuff going on there. So when you're done being a student, you're going to come over to your profile panel, and then you're going to quit your impersonation, and it's going to take you right back out. And I just wanted to go over those classroom bits with you. Are there any questions around, signing in as a student, or anything around your classrooms that you have questions about before we move on? And you're welcome to unmute, put it in the chat, whatever works best for you. I've got my eyes on it. So any questions coming up, just let me know. The next one that we have here, we're actually going to dive into right now. It is called our Explore button. So when you click on the Explore button, you are taken into kind of a magical world. And what's magical about this world is that you have these 3 buttons at the top. So if you're new to Discovery, I recommend that you just start with these top 3 buttons. So one of them is our Ready to Use Activity button. When you come in here, you have all the different grade levels. I'm going to click into 6-8 here, since we are middle school here together. So in that 6-8 section, it's broken down into the following categories. You have your featured activities. Those are kind of your timely and relevant things that are going on. Then you have anything that's been recently added. So these are going to be newer activities that are now living here within the platform. And then it breaks it down into subject areas. So of course, we want to focus our attention here on math. So this is really one of the first math supports. I'm trying to grab a link here to share with you in our chat. So here it comes. So this is the instructional activity channel. All of the activities that we see here are not only related to math, but they are done. These are activities that you can take as they are, and then be able to push those out to students. So I'm going to open up this one right here, working with machines. And what I want to take you through are some of the different features. So number one, even with our ready to use activities, you have the ability to make a copy and modify the activity. So I just want you to know that that is an available tool to you. If you don't like it the way it is, you want to add a question, add an activity, you can certainly make those things happen. Another wonderful thing about this is that you have immersive reader embedded into those ready to use assignments. So with immersive reader, I want you to know here that you can have directions, test questions, whatever it is, you can have those read out to students through immersive reader. So I'm going to push play here, and you're going to hear the text that was pulled from that slide.
Working with machines. Part 1, investigate.
And then what I want to also show you here is that you can slow down or speed up those read alouds. And you can go from male to female voice, whatever you want to do there. And then over here on the side, it gets even better. If you've got students in your room that need extra support, maybe they are your EL learners, you have a way in here to translate the document with those directions. So I just want you to know that you can come in and you are seeing here all the different languages that you have access to. So just want you to know that you've got that support in here. I'm going to leave mine on Spanish, and I'm going to go ahead and translate my whole document. Now, the same directions that we heard before,
Trabajar con máquinas.
we're hearing in Spanish,
Parte 1.
but we can also
Investigar.
hear in Russian.
Lea y vea el video.
So you can really play
¿Eres un
around with
aprendiz
this.
práctico?
And I just want you to know that you have this tool available to you. I think that one thing we're all really trying to focus on more is being able to extend every learning activity to include all of our students. And this is a wonderful way to make that happen. So this is within Studio. We are looking really into those ready to use lessons, but you can also create Studio assignments. So if there's something that you wanted to do on your own, you have the ability there as well. All right. So I'm going to take us out of our instructional activity channel and go back to our explore button. We were looking at those amazing buttons there at the top. I also want to pop into quiz with you for a moment. So when you click on the quiz button, it's going to show you all of the ready to use quizzes in the library here. And you have all these great quizzes. You have video quizzes, you have standard quizzes that you can assign so that students complete them independently, or you can make these into live activities. So a lot of fun ways to play around with this. I love our financial literacy that you can bring in. I know that that's good for math, but also for social studies. So some crossover there. And then you have some SEL if you want to work some of that into your classes, but you have these great quizzes that you can pop into and learn more about here. Now I'm going to take us back out again. So we've looked at the ready to use, we've looked at quiz, and now I want to take you into the best of interactives. And here lives our math interactives. And this is, again, just such an amazing resource. So a lot of times we look for, students want to have fun, they want to learn. How do we make all those things happen at once? So we have this section of interactives that really supports the skills that are going on in a middle school classroom. So we have multiplication and division interactives here that you can dive into. This one, Orbit Integers, is one that is wildly popular. And something about academics that I want to share with you is that you do have the ability here to have students play with each other. So if you are, having a small group day, or you're doing some type of station rotation, this could be one of your stations, or one of the activities that students are doing together. And this one, again, focuses on integers, but up to 4 students can be playing together and doing that learning together. And I think just that alone can be a very powerful tool. And then if you scroll down underneath that, it will have some related activities that you can also bring in. So just some great things happening here. Multiplication, if you have students that need to practice that, and then lots of great activities for them to dig into. So this is just the academics that we're looking at right now, but there is so much more. I'm going to share this academics link with you through our chat if you want to dig in more to those math resources. I'm going to take us back out because I know we've also got, ratios and proportions. We have our fractions and decimals. So all of these interactives will support those skills, and is just kind of a fun way to change up the different types of resources that you're using within your classroom. So here's a general link. I've given you the link to our interactives. I just want to make sure that you have all of the math interactives here. So I'm kind of curious, so far, are you more excited about the ready to use activities, or are you more excited about interactives? And I haven't even shown you everything yet, but just want to see where you are so far. Oh, good to hear, Tony. I'm glad you're into the interactives. Wonderful. Those, like I said, are just really popular right now across the state. A lot of people using those to support personalized learning. Yes, definitely have been used in a lot of learning plans. Good. Oh, I'm glad. Interactive excitement. That's wonderful. All right. So I'm going to take us again back out. So we've looked at my classrooms, we've looked at Explore. You have a browse standards button that you may want to dig into a little bit more. And then you have your tools here. We've talked a little bit about quiz. My content is a great way to share content at your school level, also at your district level. And then we also have some educator supports that I will share with you toward the end of today's session. All right, so revisiting this area here, one of the things that we want to talk about, of course, is how do we pull up resources? How do we get there? What do we do? So we're going to dig in right now to our search bar. And I want to call out, before I put in my search terms here, I just want you to know that you also have a search by speech option. So if you have students in your room that need to search up different types of resources, if they are not confident in their typing or, spelling skills, this is another way for them to search. I'm going to type in math. Here we go. And from here, it's going to pull in all of the great math resources we have. We're looking right now at just over 7,000 resources. And I'm going to talk now about how we can really start to kind of narrow down these resources. So one of the first things I want to do is make sure that I filter my subject. So I've gone in, I've now made sure that we're filtering just into math. And then I also want to make sure I filter just into 6-8. So now I've got math in 6-8. And now I just want to filter my channels. And I'm going to share this search with you so that you are able to capture all of these channels. It's a lot, but I definitely want you to have some options when you're looking for your different supports in Discovery. So one of the first things I want to share with you is how to save a resource. And one of the ways here, we're looking at our Math Interactive channel. You have the option, when you click on the 3-dot menu, you can click on Add to My Channels. So by clicking that, it's now going to pop up on my homepage. The second one that you have is to add it to your quick list. When I add it to my quick list, I can go over to my profile panel, and you'll see here that it's now living in my quick list. And one of the best practices that I can share with you around a quick list is that you are able to kind of stack all of the different resources that you want to use maybe within a week. And then at the end of the week, you can come in, you can add it to your content. You can actually create a folder maybe for that week or for that subject, or you can simply clear them all out and then replace them with the videos that you want to use the following week. So that is just a little bit about quick list there. That is my recommended way of saving, especially if you are newer to Discovery. And then another thing I want to share with you is that you can actually copy links to different channels and share those out with students, or share them out with your staff or with your colleagues. So you're able to come in, copy those links, and then share them out. You can also put them in your Google Classroom, in your Canvas, whatever works best for you. We are fully integrated in Canvas. You'll see us within the menu. And again, that just makes us easier for you to access, easier for kids to actually work on different assignments within Discovery. So just want you to know that that is available to you. So I'm actually going to click now. We've kind of already talked about math interactives. We've talked about the academics. Now I want to dig into some specific resources that we have. I've clicked into our Math Connections channel, and I'm always going to be careful that I'm looking at the right grade band. So I have to click into 6-8 here. But then down below, you're going to see a mix of different types of resources. You have some PDF activities, some videos, some images, a lot of different things that you're able to incorporate with your math lessons. So with a specific resource, you have some different options available to you. You still have that quick list there, and you still have the share button, but you also have an assign button. So if you wanted to keep your assignments within the Discovery platform, you can click on assign. It will give you a title and instructions right away. And then this is where you can actually turn this into a differentiation tool within your math classroom. So I'm going to click into my Test A class and select students. And here I can deselect select all students and maybe just want this to go out to OB1. I'll click next. And then here I am able to put in my start date and my due date. I can schedule these months out if I needed to. And then I just go ahead and assign, and there it is with all my details. I'm going to click OK, and it will take me right back to where I was. So that is what the assignment flow looks like if you decide to stay within the Discovery Education platform. Now, if I wanted to take that same assignment and share it out on Canvas, you'll see that share screen. I can click on Canvas, and then it will take me right through all of the Canvas steps. You can also just grab a link to any of these things and copy and paste. So one other thing I want to show you while we're here is that with any of our math videos, you'll notice that you have a download button. So if you have an existing presentation, maybe you don't want kids coming into the platform or whatever the case may be, you can actually download these videos and put them into your existing presentations as well. So you have your download button. You also have some other supports here. You have your closed captioning. You have a transcript. So if you're asking students to go back and look at, different pieces of evidence, or you're asking them to, go back and revisit some concepts, they can use that transcript instead of having to rewatch, the whole video. But you also have segments here to help out. So if you're talking with students about conversions, you can look really specifically at conversions instead of watching the whole thing just for that one part. So that's the Math Connections channel that we just dove into for a moment there. And I'm going to bring us back out to our search here. This one is another popular one. So one of my best friends is a middle school math teacher, and this was one she was really excited about using. This is our Prudential Monthly Math Challenge. So, she found some great ways to incorporate this into her classroom. I have English here, but I also have these in Spanish. So that's another fun call out here, just making sure that we're reaching as many people as possible. And here, I have us dialed into Spanish right now, but you'll see here that you have the different monthly math challenges. And then of course, you are able to, go in there. And again, you can assign these, you can share them, whatever works best. But yeah, just a great way. You have the answer key here as well. And you'll see the whole line of all the different math challenges there for you. So I will share this link in our chat. I hope I didn't already share it. Now I'm having one of those moments where, did I already do that? I don't know. So here we go. So you have that Prudential Monthly Math Challenge. That's a fun one. And another one I want to share with you from our different activities here that we pulled up, the PhET interactive simulations. So these are, again, some different simulations that students can interact with. This is kind of within that interactive realm, but also dives a little bit deeper into some more complex types of things. So you do have some specific to algebra here, as well as number concepts. When you're talking about fractions, you've got some great supports here as well. So I'm going to copy that, give you that as well in our chat. Now, I'm kind of curious. I've shown you a few different channels. Which one of the channels has really caught your attention so far? And there's more, but I'm just kind of curious where you are with it as of now. Are the PhET interactives catching you? The Math Connections? The monthly math challenge? Which one of those do you think is going to be best? Simulations, that's a great one. Yeah, this PhET interactive channel is top notch. Great one. All sound great. I love it. That's a great answer, Krista. I love that for you. All right, so I'm going to take us out again and show you some more. So another very popular one is the math problem solving strategies. And I'm going to, again, make sure I click into 6-8 here. And as we go through here, we have our video segments. We also have some more resources that are going to help out here. But what I love about this is that it will address things like computational thinking, problem solving. So some of those concepts that are brought in, it's really going to hone in on those different things and talk about the problem solving aspects. I'm going to click right now into the STEM on the court. I think this is a great one. So here we have actually one of our virtual field trips. So that's just a segment of it. What we're looking at here is the entire virtual field trip. And I'm going to share this with you in our chat. So our virtual field trips is like a whole experience. And I'm going to tell you, I've done some of these, like visited classrooms and actually carried some of these out. And I will say that sometimes this will take like a day or two. It can even expand into like the course of a week, depending on how long your class periods are. But I just want you to know that you have access to these learning experiences. And there is a whole channel that you can dig deeper into, our virtual field trip channel. But here you have, our whole access here is going to give you different videos that are connected, but it's going to talk not just about math, but also about careers. It's going to bring in a lot of different aspects here. So I love that, it also brings up marketing, but it also connects with math. It connects with science. So there's so many different areas of intersection within this one activity. And that's really the beauty of a lot of our virtual field trips. So here's our segments. There's the segment that we started with. And then, of course, you have your transcripts and you have your closed captioning. And you also have the ability here to download that video and put it where you need it. So that's a fun one to call out here. One of our great virtual field trips. There are others that I will show you in just a bit here, but I just want you to know that that one exists. I will give you a link to that problem solving channel. And then we'll carry on here with some more resources. All right, so now we have a whole channel on fractions. Again, thinking about my own kids, thinking about, my time as a middle school teacher, fractions definitely need support. I know I needed support as a middle schooler with fractions. So I definitely want to share this out with you. It does have some fun songs. So if you're looking to incorporate lots of different styles of learning and lots of different types of resources, this is a great way to make that happen. We also have our math overviews here. So for this particular multiplying fractions, we have a video that is going to take students through how to make this happen. So let's say you've already taught this in class, but you want to make sure that students have a resource that they can come back to over time. Maybe they've taken a test, they want to do a test correction, but maybe this is something that they have to look at first for that review. So you have these different math overviews that are going to help them understand better how to multiply fractions. And then you have like an entire section of multiplication, an entire section of fractions, and so on. And then, as I mentioned before, you can come down below those videos and see some related activities here. So it just kind of leads you into more supports. And again, this is another one you can download. You can definitely take a link, put it in an email with a parent, whatever it is that you need support with. And then this is also broken down into segments. So if there's a specific part that a student is struggling with, maybe you don't want to give them that entire video, but maybe you just want to give them a quick 3-minute portion that they can go back over. That is an amazing option here within the fraction channel. So You have a channel dedicated to fractions as well as multiplication and all of those great areas of math that you're trying to teach and of course still review at the same time. So this is just a really great way to dig into those support sources. All right, coming back out again. I will show you another one, our mathematical reasoning channel. And again, this is one you want to make sure that you're clicked into those 6-8 resources. And you will notice that there is some overlap. You're going to find that there's the overlap going on, but then this is going to bring in a little bit of that history as well. So I know sometimes we're talking about, different theorems and different things that are happening within math, and this is going to give more context to those pieces. So that's just another kind of cool thing to call out here and have support with as you are trying to give students background knowledge before they learn concepts. So that is a good one. And I just want to pause. Are there any questions coming up about how to save any of your resources? Do you feel good about it? And if we wanted to maybe click out of channels and just look at interactives, you have the ability to do that as well. I know that interactives is definitely hitting the spot here. So I want you to have a link here to all of that interactive search that I've brought up here. But any questions coming up for you or any particular resources that you're looking for support with? So far, so good. All right. So I'm going to take us back to our presentation for a moment and just want to make sure that I've shared all these great things with you. So this is actually another great video here. This is the Math Minded. So these are some awesome videos. I'm going to share out this resource with you here because as I know it's titled Science, but there is so much overlap between science and math that I want you to have access to all of these. So you'll see here that it's tied in with science, and it's going to bring in some of those different, sometimes kids want to know, why am I doing this? What is it connected to? So this is going to give them those connections to real world things that are happening, that they're able to say, oh, I see now why this math ties in with a bigger concept like airplanes and airplane diseases and how all of that works together, because now we know data is a huge part of the world beyond education. So it's definitely something that, the more context they have, I think the more interest it will drum up. So that is a little link there. We've already talked about the math explanations under our math overviews, but you will have a copy of this whole presentation so you can come back to these. This is an interactive that I wanted to highlight here. But just remember, with our interactives, you have games, you have explorations, as well as some skill building exercises all within those interactive channels. And then this is another area I wanted to spend some time on with you. So we have this specific resource, and I'm sharing this in our chat. This is going over, so within the Discovery platform, we actually have an entire area of instructional strategies. And I'm going to be doing a whole session on these instructional strategies in October. But I want to just take you through some of the mathematical thinking strategies that come up. And what you'll notice in that document is that it has all of the different skills within math that are going to help, kind of direct, what type of activity you put with it. So if we're talking about how to strategize, how to solve problems, you may want to pull in one of these great resources. So I have right here the yes, no, maybe so. And the first thing that you'll see is a teacher-facing video. So this is going to take you through what is the activity all about, why are kids doing it, how does it look, And then from there, you also have the PDF that goes along with it. So with the PDFs, you can download these, you can print them out, do whatever you need with them. But you have access here to these PDFs, and it will, if there's like a graphic organizer that's paired with it, it will also be attached. So this particular one is one where students are actually going to be moving and acting out. So it just depends on what it is you want to carry out with your students. But this is going to be a really fun way to bring in some movement to your math lesson. And then coming back here, I'll take us back out again, and maybe you want to focus on making connections. So you can use this connect the dots. And again, you can open up that one, and you will find here, again, another explanation, some ideas on how to use it. And then another piece I love is that it will have some extensions and modifications that you can work in. I know we're trying to bring more writing into all of our subject areas, so this is going to be great bringing in some of those ideas as well. And then you can translate to Spanish. That's a fun one. So that's a great thing here. Of course, you're able to make sure that you are reaching students in your room and really sharing all of these different resources with them. So any questions coming up about how to use our instructional strategies? They can be printed out. You can assign them digitally, whatever works best for you. And I'm keeping my eye on the chat. I'm listening if there are questions coming up from anyone. And I'm going to keep taking us through here. Now I want to spend some time talking about those virtual field trips. So I mentioned that we have some that are more, math-minded virtual field trips. And they are, of course, tied in with STEAM. So there's a lot of good stuff going on there. And one of them, I want to find the right one here. This is the video that goes with it, but it is our Working in Harmony channel. So Working in Harmony was one of our more recent STEAM career activities that we've put together. And this particular one, again, is broken down into segments, but also has transcripts. So you have your segments listed out here. And then below that, you have all of the educational resources that are attached. So we have here an educator guide. As I mentioned, there's a whole channel that goes with it. I'll share this channel with you if you're interested. And again, these are just really amazing learning experiences that you can bring into your classroom that are going to tie together what you're doing in the classroom with life beyond the classroom. So again, just really giving students that context of why am I doing this, and then showing them how it all connects, to the bigger picture. So that is the Working in Harmony. And our educator guide, what's great about it is it's going to take you through everything from the intro all the way through any, follow-up activities. So this here has a few different activities that you can work in. It'll give you some post-viewing ideas and then also some extension ideas as well. And this really has everything. So, gives you lots of different types of activities. So if you're really trying to work more projects into your classroom, this is going to be a great resource for you. And actually, I didn't mean to click out of that so fast. There is also a math behind the music. This particular activity is focused on math. And again, you'll see that there's a lot of explanation that goes along with it. So what it will give you here is, of course, your grade range, your lesson overview, but then it's going to also take you into the different standards that you're hitting and provide you with background information. As I go deeper here, it's actually going to give me exploration ideas. So this is where that project part comes in. So it definitely gives you some options here and ways to extend the different lesson ideas that come up. So this one is a really fun one. There is a lesson extension included, and really just has, some great pieces to it that are gonna kind of jazz up some of your math lessons. It's gonna tie in music, and I think that that's always a good thing. So that's all within the virtual field trip channel, and that channel should already be popping up on your screen. So I want to give you now just a moment to kind of process. And I would love for you to take a few minutes here and use the information that we've done to come with like 2 resources that you really want to dig into. So let's say you're excited about interactives. Let's find maybe 2 interactives that you definitely want to be using with students. So this is your time to really search and explore. So I'm going to give you, looks like I can give you about 4 minutes, and then we'll come back together and you can share out some of those great resources that you found. And I'm right here if you have questions about how to search, or if you're looking for any particular type of resource, and I can help you find that. But we're doing a little hunting right now. So what 2 resources are you excited to bring into your classroom? All right, we've got about a minute left, and hopefully in about a minute you'll be ready to share 2 resources that you're excited to use. And it can be a video, it could be a virtual field trip, it could be an interactive that you're excited about, but just want to kind of share with others and let people take, some ideas with them. All right, so it is time. If you would please drop a couple of those great resources in our chat just to share out. Hopefully you have some great resources that you are, excited to take back and use within your classroom. Oh, good. Yeah, fractions. I agree. Our challenge. Oh, good. Whole number relationships, number representing amounts. Awesome. That's great news, Dawn. And I have to click, I'm going to click on this evaluation. Oh, that's from Mike. Just kidding. Thank you, Dawn, for responding. I appreciate that. Anyone else have different resources that you're excited to use? I'm curious what you're finding. Fractions, good one, good one. All right, and I'll give you guys some time if you're still thinking. So I do want to make sure, oh good, multiplication and division practice. Good one, Tony. So I'm going to give you now our kind of finishing steps here. One of them is the opportunity to join a raffle. So here comes our raffle. Ooh, quadratics, good. Oh, the virtual field trip, good one. And the interactives. Thank you for sharing. I love to hear what's resonating. That's awesome. So here's our link. Also, it is going to give you my email. So if there are questions that you want to follow up with me on, or even if you want to have like some one-on-one time, that's what I'm here for. You just let me know how I can support you best. We also have some check-ins and a session survey. And I'm going to drop that in the chat as well. So here it comes. And the final thing I'm going to give you is actually an invitation to join our Discovery Educator Network. This is both an opportunity to network with other educators and also an opportunity to get more support in from Discovery Education through different workshops and just some great opportunities that are available to you. They do help with certification. We are always, happy to give you certificates for any professional learning that you take part in, but always happy to assist there. Or if you want to know more about the DEN network, happy to give you more info. And then one other link I'm going to give you is the link to our asynchronous Canvas course. It is, in collaboration with NDE. So that's another good one if you want to learn more about Discovery but can't make it to our virtual statewide sessions. That's another great way to make that happen. So some links in there for you to be working on. And then I do have a couple of things I want to share with you from the presentation while you're working on those. One of them, oops, oh my gosh, I forgot to put it in here. I'm going to grab a link to the presentation for you. I thought I put oh, there, you know what? I had a malfunction. There it is. There we are. So there's a QR code. That QR code will give you a link to today's presentation if there's anything that you want to go back to. I do have everything hyperlinked. So any of the resources that you saw, interactives, any of those things, maybe you didn't catch them in our chat, you can grab them through our presentation. And I'm going to leave us a little bit of time for you to work through those different links, but also I'm here if you have questions that are popping up. Thank you, Sandra. Glad you joined. Let me know if there's anything I can help with or any particular resources that you might be trying to find. I'm here to help. You're so welcome, Dawn. Thanks for joining. Oh, I'm so happy, Krista. That makes my day. I'm glad I could help, and I'm here to support as you dig into some of those cool things. Thank you for being here.
So while you guys are still exploring, we have 3 more minutes. I'm just gonna drop again one more time the session attendance and the session evaluation in case you have missed it. So I'm just gonna drop it in the chat. Also, be reminded that our next session would be at 1 o'clock. And so we have 30 minutes lunch, and that session 4 would be starting at 1 o'clock.
Any questions about the DEN network? If any of you are interested, want to make sure that you have your questions answered. It would be so awesome to have you join. We're really trying to grow the network here in Nevada. We've seen a lot of good growth, and these workshops that we put on, you take so many great things away from them. And also just, able to connect with educators all over the country, which is really cool. So let me know if that's something that you want to dig into a little bit more. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, well, you can always contact Jennifer for any questions, and the best way to remember all these things is to use it in the classroom. Jennifer, in behalf of Andy, would like to thank you for this presentation.
My pleasure. I hope everyone has a great lunch and a great weekend, and hope to see you all soon. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.